Hello, everyone, and welcome to News and Views for March the 20th, 2025. It may look snowy behind me, but it is actually starting to thaw out there. Spring is definitely on the horizon at last. Although, being Manitobans, we know we're not quite there yet. So we've got a great show for you today, but before we get started on that, they have just released the new Manitoba budget today, just as of the time we're recording this, just a few minutes ago. So I don't have a lot of details yet, but I did do a quick glance through the information. And it does look like they have announced $700 million for 11 new schools over the next 3 years. And the new Neepawa Regional High School is on that list. So the high school is back on the table, back in the budget. It looks like for 2025, they are focusing on K to 8 schools, and the regional high school, as well as other schools in that area, will be on 2026 or 27. I'm certain we will have more details on that in the near future. But as far as we know, as of right now, that is the probably the budget item we are most anticipating seeing. And of course, there is lots of other details in the budget that we will bring to you in the coming week in other programs as well, and probably a bit more on next week's News and Views as we parse through all the information. So yeah, again, Neepawa Regional High School back in the budget to be constructed in Neepawa. So as well, this coming weekend, our own Neepawa Titans are going to the hockey playoffs, or the MJHL. This weekend they play up in the Paw. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, which are a little unusual days for games, they are playing here in Neepawa, games 3 and 4 of the series. And going into the playoffs is great for a hockey team in general, of course, but it also has an economic spin-off in the town. And it's really important for us to go out and support the team as they go into these extra games that kind of extend their season in a little later, keeps the ice in the rink a little bit later, all these kinds of things. So Tuesday and Wednesday at the Yellowhead, if you haven't gone before, maybe it's time to check out a game. If the series goes on, I will give you more details later on for future games. So for today's show, we were out at Canada Reads. Of course, Canada Reads a national endeavor through CBC. And for the last 10 years, we have been running our own event here in Neepawa. The Martin Lawrence Home has been running their own event here in Neepawa, taking local readers, reading excerpts from the nominated books, having sort of a big book club, promoting Canadian literature, promoting literacy, and just kind of promoting reading in general. So that happened this week. We talked to Blair Chapman, who is the president of Martin Lawrence Home, about the event and about what it means. Also, Jeremy Vogt sat down with general manager and coach of the Titans, Ken Pearson, for an interview. They've just finished their regular season, as I just mentioned. They are going into their postseason. So they talked a bit about that and what that means and what the season looks like and just general hockey things. So that we'll have a portion of that on the show today. A longer version of the interview will be available elsewhere in our schedule. And finally, we have the hockey highlights from the Titans versus Dauphin game. This happened on March the 14th. This was the second last game of the regular season. I was there. Great game to see. Please do enjoy those. If you have anything going on, any news you want us to cover, such as things like the provincial budget, anything that you have filmed you want to send to us, please do get in touch with us. We love to collaborate with the community and get the things that we can't get out to. So you can reach us, NACTV, at wcgwave.ca, or by phone 204-476-2639. Thanks, and enjoy the show. This is apparently the 10th year that the Martin Lawrence Home is doing Canada Reads. What's that experience been like?
It's been wonderful. It's changed over the 10 years. And when we started it 10 years ago, we held it at the house. We wanted to hold some events inside Margaret Lawrence's childhood home. As the event has grown, we've outgrown the old living room there. So this is our third year at Arts Forward, I think our third. Very lucky to have this venue and to have people anticipate this event. People come up to me in the street and say, when is the Canada Reads evening this year? It's a nice event to look forward to annually, and always have a nice evening.
So what does it mean to do a Canada Reads event locally? What do you do?
If you listen to the radio or watch it on TV or stream it, you'll see people engaged in conversation with some debate and a little bit of competition and a little bit of trying to get your elbows out and make room for your book and make the case for your book. And our event is very different. We are, again, very lucky. 5 local readers have agreed to come and present their take on the book that they read, positive, negative, some reasons to recommend it, some reasons to caution readers about something that maybe that reader didn't especially enjoy. But it is purely non-competitive. There is no winner declared in Neepawa. It's simply an evening to enjoy talking about books, enjoying the company of fellow readers and some snacks and drinks to go along with it. It's always a wonderful evening.
So why is it important that the Margaret Lawrence Home do events like this?
Margaret Lawrence Home is still a draw for visitors from around the planet. Every summer we welcome hundreds of visitors, some of them dedicated Margaret Lawrence fans, some of them simply curious passers-by. But we also want to be part of the art scene and cultural scene here in Neepawa, which is active. And we want to contribute to that. We want to make the Margaret Lawrence Home a part of what people in Neepawa participate in, not just people that drive through or come to visit.
And so there are probably not a lot of literary events to kind of jump onto, but Canada Reads is kind of a big one.
Yeah, it's been going on for years, and it introduces us to authors we might not have heard of, engages us with issues of current interest and sometimes controversy, and open conversation and sharing of ideas is something that is still really important. So we like to support that.
And have you been following the debates this year so far?
I listened to a portion yesterday and just saw a snippet on TV this afternoon, and always interesting to hear the different takes on the books, and to hear sort of the angling that goes on, I guess, a little bit, because again, for those presenters, it is a competition to see which book will remain standing. And I don't mean to make it sound mean-spirited. Absolutely not. The different presenters have good things to say about other people's books. It's just a really open discussion, and it's interesting to listen to.
And on a national scale and on a local scale, it's just kind of to get people to read more.
Absolutely. Anything we can do to support Canadian authors and the Canadian literary scene and the continued ability of people to read and be exposed to ideas that aren't just on their screens, I think that's a plus.
So we are in March now. What is coming up for the Margaret Lawrence Home later on this year?
During the summer, we are going to have our annual book sale. We don't have a firm date on that yet. We are also going to be, we are very fortunate to have been named by Neepawa's tourism committee as the recipient of profits from the marketplace down at the Riverbend Market. So we're going to be supporting that in every way we can. In the fall, we will be having our craft sale at the Legion. Again, an early fall date for that, I think early October. More on that to come. And I'm pretty sure again in June, there's going to be music on the porch in support of the Little Valley Jamboree. We started that last year and had 3 Wednesday evenings with music from local musicians, and people brought out their lawn chairs, and there was even a sing-along on one of those evenings. So we're looking forward to putting that together again.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a very fun night. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you very much, NACTV.
So this is your 6th season with the team, and during that time there have been quite a few changes. Well, the team changed its name, and also we went through shutdowns due to COVID, especially the 2020 season that never really got off the ground. How have things changed since you've been here?
Well, I think the league as a whole has changed in the number of teams that are now in the league with the addition of the Niverville and the Winnipeg Freeze, and the OCN Blizzard has changed to the Norman Blizzard now and play out of the Paw. And then just I think this last year the NCAA made the changes with allowing Western Hockey League or major junior players the opportunity to now pursue education in the States. So I think that's going to be a challenge and something that we're going to see over the next couple seasons here before how it plays out and how it really affects everyone. And that's going to be one of the biggest challenges, I think, now to make sure that we maintain a good product here in Neepawa on the ice with being able to still recruit the right players to come in here and make us successful. And this is going to be the first off season where we've players that you thought maybe were committed to your program now are going to go to the Western Hockey League because they have that opportunity with not being at a disadvantage, or not a disadvantage, I guess, but being ineligible to go to the NCAA Division I to play. So that's going to be a bit of a juggling act for the first little bit of the season. But I think all in all, it's good to give the players those options, and as organizations, it's going to force us to up our game.
So what are the changes that have been made in regards to the eligibility?
Yeah, so previously a player had to decide if he was going to go the major junior route, which is the Brandon Wheat Kings and such, or if they were going to go the NCAA route, University of North Dakota. You'd have to make a decision on what you're going to do. And if you decided to go to the Western Hockey League, then you were ineligible to participate on a scholarship or whatnot at the NCAA Division I level. Now, players are able to take that option of going to the Western Hockey League, playing some games, and trying to get a scholarship that way. And if it doesn't work out for them and they do play 5, 10, 100 games there, they can still come back and play junior A hockey and still be eligible to get a scholarship to go down south.
How do you think that would affect the Titans relative to other teams in the league?
Yeah, I don't know that that's still a wait and see. I mean, our league itself also made a change in we no longer have an MJHL band draft or a 15-year-old draft. So everything now is more wide open, kind of like the college recruiting, where you have to go out and try and find the best players and get them committed to your program right then and there for the following season and seasons. Whereas before with the draft, you draft players that have pretty much committed to you verbally. So you draft those guys with the hopes that they're going to be able to play for your team the following year or as 18-year-olds. And I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge for us. No more than some of the other teams in our division, but it will be a little bit of a challenge for us as in our organization to bring in the top end guys to our hockey club.
Yeah. So without the draft, do you have an idea of who's coming down the pipeline and like prospects you're looking at for coming seasons?
Yeah. So we won't really be affected this coming season because we still will have our players that were born in 2008 from our draft that will be 17 years old and able to step into our program either this fall or the next year. It's the 2 and 3 years down the road that you're looking at right now, and that's the 2009 and 2010 born kids. And so we're having a camp in April that is open for kids born from 2007 to 2010, that we will have a camp for those players to identify and to track, those guys over the next year and a bit, and to determine which guys we feel would be a good fit for the Neepawa Titans.
And looking a bit closer to the present in the nearer future, the Titans are in the playoffs this year, and they will be playing against Northern Manitoba Blizzard. And how do you think the two teams compare? What are you expecting from this matchup?
Yeah, I think we're both very similar in ways. Both hardworking teams. With the one thing with the Blizzard and we are too is, they're very structured. They have good goaltending, and they've got a couple of guys up front that have really led their team offensively in Bouvier and Cyprien, McNeil. So we're gonna have our challenges. They've got good depth up front. They've got good depth on the back end. Some of the challenges that we're gonna face that we are gonna have with them is just the other series is because of distance. They're gonna do a 1-1 scenario. So one game in their rink and another game in the home team rink. For us, it's gonna be 2 games in the PAW and then 2 games in Neepawa. Add in the travel of 600 kilometers or 550 kilometers or whatever it is one way, on the bus. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge for both teams, making sure that teams are rested on the days off, they're hydrating properly, getting the attention that they need off the ice as they prepare for what I think is going to be a long series.
Yeah, so I did notice the schedule for the Titans and Blizzard playoff series is different from the others. Instead of having 1 day in between each game, you basically have 2 back-to-backs to start off with 2 days in between. And I assume that's to do with the logistics of travel. There will be additional expenses involved. So what are some of the challenges and additional expenses associated with playing this series compared to one with shorter travel?
Yeah, so if we were to play Wayway or Dauphin or Verdun, obviously we would go to their rink that night, come back home, have a day off, practice at home, play the home game. With the Blizzard series, obviously we're going to have the extra hotel rooms booked in there, the extra meals for going on the road. When you play a Wayway Dauphin series, the time that we leave, guys are able to have their pregame meals at home and then get on the bus and then go play the game. Whereas, just for example, on Friday we're gonna leave Friday morning, get to the hotel. Guys will have a pregame meal at the hotel. We'll go to the game, and then we'll have a postgame meal. Saturday we'll have breakfast, a pregame meal, and a postgame meal too. So, that's some of the additional expenses is the meals in the hotels and of course overnight travel with the bus. But it's part of the division that we're in. It's part of getting to the playoffs and making this far. It's good to make the playoffs. The longer you play, the better it is for the players and the community. But there's also additional expenses that come with the longer that you play. You gotta buy more sticks. You gotta buy more tape. You gotta buy more ice time. So it's like I said, great to make the playoffs, but there is the other side of it that we got to make sure that we are able to get our expenses paid for at the same time.
Yeah. So how do the expenses compare to the revenue you would get for the at least 2 home playoff games we have?
Well, I mean, obviously the biggest thing is for us in this round is having to stay the night with games 1 and 2. you get into games 5, 6, and 7, you're driving up there and you're coming home because you're just playing the one game. So there's not as many expenses, and we hope that we can fill the arena on our home games on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that will go a long way in helping us and make sure that we get our expenses looked after.
So, what is the effect of travel on players? Considering we have 2 back-to-back games while the other playoff series don't, is it easier to play the next day when you're already there, or to have a day off with travel in between?
Yeah, I think that the guys would prefer, obviously, to have a day in between games. I mean, come playoffs, it's always a lot more physical. And obviously in this series, you got your travel that you got to add into that. But I think the first part of the schedule with the first 4 games, we play the games back to back, and we got a day off and a day of travel built in there. So you got the 2 days to recover for games 3 and 4. So I think that and we are, knock on wood, a healthy group here right now. So I think the longer the series goes, the team that uses the rest and is able to rest and hydrate and make sure mentally that they're resting as well, is the team that's going to be probably the most successful.
Good evening and welcome to Neepawa Titans hockey here at the Yellowhead Arena in Neepawa, Manitoba. Tonight, the second last game of the regular season for the Titans, where they will be hosting the division-leading Dauphin Kings. Kings in their own zone. Cross for Stewart. Now, Titans, Maloney was taken down, and the Kings get out. Now, coming up ice. Shot. Oh! Off the post and out. Kings heading into the Titan zone. Titans back for it. Weisgarber heading up ice along with Alexander. Alexander on the puck at the face-off dot. Shot doesn't get through. And Sheffield deflected that into the corner. Titans still controlling in the King zone. Alexander in the slot. Shot. And they score.
Under traffic, a little bit of a defensive pulled away, thinking that he was going to pass, but left the chute wide open right there, and he tucked her in.
So it looks like it's Jack Clark who got the goal. Shot saved by LeBreau. Lewis is there. He tries to get it out, kept in. You go to Masson. Shot saved by LeBreau.
Good job.
Almost
Skrupa
gets in net anyway. Skrupa keeps that out, and we have a penalty coming up to the Kings.
The Dauphin can win this face-off. That would be
Dylan McCann up high. Cross for Durgan. Shot. Comes right in. The puck. And they score.
a scrappy goal at that. Got it with his glove, got it with his skate, but couldn't get enough momentum on the puck to get it out, and the Titans just tip her in.
In the Titan zone, McDonald on the puck up for Tyconic, gets it up into the King zone. Shot by Haggerty, saved by Sheffield. Titans check up, and McDonald sends it in crosswise. Hartley going after it against Aiden Murray. Now coming right out in front, shot, and fancy moves by Kasprick. He couldn't get past Sheffield. 40 seconds left in 4-on-4. Into the King zone. Alexander comes right in the slot. Saved by Sheffield. Another save. And now puck's loose in the corner. Titans with control. Now both players out of the box. McDonald in the King's Own tried to come right in, and Sheffield makes the save. In the King's Zone, face-off won by the Titans. Dawson McCann tried to take that up high, comes out of the zone. Hartley back for it. Coming through the neutral zone, tied up, and Gage heading back the other way, trying to come in, shot, and they score.
Broken pass leads to a shorthanded goal for the Dauphin Kings, and now it's a 1-point game.
Taken down was McLeod, and that comes right back out, and we've got a fight between Tim Tyconic and can't see who the other player is. Face off to the right of LeBreau. One back by the Titans. But Shayak comes up with it. Kings keep it in. Shot goes just wide. Tried to stuff, and they score.
Back of the stick and into the corner of the net on the short side of LeBreau. Now it's a tie game.
Paquette against Bugeaud. Titans win it back. Durgan chips it off the glass out into the neutral zone. On for Hartley. Hartley into the King zone along with Kasprick. That shot missed. And that comes back out into the neutral zone. Hartley right back in. Hartley shot, and he scores!
Oh, Sheffield pulled himself out, did what he needed to do, just got beat by the puck.
And the Titans have retaken the lead. Wise Garber heading to the neutral zone. Now in Titan zone up high, Knox. Shot blocked. Shot goes up in the air and comes down in front of Sheffield, and he makes the save. Up high for Magrel. That's deflected, doesn't get to the net. Back to Schmidt. And well, that puck just stays in. Kasprick couldn't quite clear. It was blocked, and then a shot through a bunch of players blocked. Kings with control. Shot saved by LeBreau. So it looks like the face-off will come to the right of LeBreau. Paquette to take it, wins it back for the Titans. Heafy gets that out. Kasprick tried to advance it. Now Hartley going after the puck, and they score.
Diving swing for the puck to get an empty netter. And the Titans get the insurance goal on an empty net.
So it looks like that'll be credited to Mason Hartley. So Neepawa Titans defeat the Dauphin Kings for the second time this season.